Are you making costly data mistakes? What's crazy is that I see the same mistakes over and over through the years across businesses. And I'm not talking about big data mistakes on crazy statistical machine learning, data science stuff. I'm talking about everyday reports that everyone uses. In this video, we're going to cover those mistakes because I want to make sure that you avoid those data pitfalls. So let's grab a cup of coffee and chat. The mistakes I'm talking about: call centers, banks, supply chain operations, manufacturing. I could keep going on and on. I've been seeing them for way too many years than I care to admit, and they persist today despite having the most awesome tools at our disposal. These data mistakes are still making you use bad data. And I want to help. So let's look into what those mistakes are. Number one, an average of an average. I can't tell you how long that I personally did this one before I was called out. I was an entry-level analyst, didn't know any better. But at the end of the day, they're bad because they don't weight the units that make up the average. So let's say you have one number with 100, and it's based on 100 people. And then you have a second number on 5 people, and their average is a 50. So you have 100 and a 50, an average of 75. Not really. Those same 5 people that made up that second number are weighted just as much as the 100 people. Those are not apples to apples. So do not do an average of an average. Second mistake is not exploring your data. If you're doing some fancy data science, machine learning, forecasting, there's a whole section to that it should include exploratory data analysis, also known as EDA. And so that's a full step in some crazy analytics. And basically, you have tools at your disposal most likely that can do some of this. So if you're not looking at the data and like outliers and null values and things like that, the tools that you're using are likely making those decisions for you. And it's really nice to have the convenience. If it's not taking in the right information the right way, you're not getting a good outcome. Third mistake I see a lot is too many reports. If you literally have 30 some odd reports that you're trying to pretend to look at every day, you're lying to yourself, you're not looking at them. You probably just want them on hand in case you want to look at them. Those take a lot of time and effort to create and maintain. If you're not looking at them and there's so much overload, how much value are you actually getting from that information? If you can't tie a metric or report to a specific business objective, what value does it actually have? It's just noise. Good news, we're over halfway through the list. Whew. But do me a favor, give me a like if this is adding any value to your life. It's a data point to help me know where to spend my time. Number 4, measure what matters. Time and time again, I see it kind of relates to that number 3 where there's too many reports, but I actually see things like dashboards of KPIs, and they don't actually tie to business objectives. So what exactly are you tracking if not what you're trying to achieve as a business? So it's important to make sure that you're measuring what matters. And what mattered 2 years ago, maybe when you had a report created, is not necessarily what matters today. Your business has likely changed. And even if the report is still warranted, it's a good idea to reassess what you're looking at regularly to make sure that you don't have stagnant, expensive reports to maintain that aren't providing value. And along these same lines, are the metrics actually measuring what you're trying to accomplish? The individual values that make up your metrics could be being manipulated. So it's a good idea to make sure that you're achieving exactly what you're intending to do with that metric and that they aren't being influenced in ways that you don't expect. So be strategic and make sure you measure what matters. And the 5th mistake that I see way too much is confirmation bias. And I know that sounds super jargony, but let's break that down. It's basically a lens that you see the world through. So if you believe something to be true, you naturally and unconsciously go after things that support that view of yours. So maybe this comes across as you asking for a report a certain way. Or maybe it comes across as when you think a report is wrong. 2 + 2 = 4, no matter how badly you want it to be 5. That report might be wrong, but sometimes it's a good idea to level set and make sure that you're not just hoping that 2 + 2 = 5 today because odd numbers are cooler. And yes, I realize that's silly, but it's true. If you're using your data to drive decision making, you need to make sure it's solid. You need to make sure you have good, accurate data that reflects the reality. And to do that, you got to be able to ask the right questions, whether it's from the people providing the data or the people providing your reports. I really want to make sure that you have good data to operate with. And that starts by having good data and avoiding these mistakes. I truly want to help you grow using your data. So I'm making individual videos on each of these mistakes to go into them in greater detail. So check out the playlist I'm linking here, or check out individual videos if you had specific questions on one of these mistakes that you may or may not be making. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like some more of these coffee chats.